Hi guys, my name is Adeshion and with me is
Wale.
On today's episode of Mailbox, we'll be addressing different mails from different people from all over the world. Our first mail today is Jake. Jake is from Texas. He says, "Not my job to provide for my siblings. Hello. I told my parents it's not my job to provide for my siblings, and they have not been in talking terms with me since then. I have my own problems, but they always depend on me to take care of 3 grown people who have refused to do something reasonable for themselves. How do I remedy this, even though I still stand on what I said?"
I mean, you're correct. 1000% correct. What you need to do is to make sure that you consistently still provide for honor your parents. That's what the scripture says. Honor your parents, your father and your mother. Ensure that you do not break that code, but resist any temptation to be blackmailed into providing for other people. People must understand that God is their source and you turn them towards God. So whatever it is that you do, you're correct. Don't get guilt-tripped into all of that. It's better when everybody in the family or in your family are sustainable, or they are sustaining themselves through a decent work. Everybody must be engaged fully in that. You can even help your siblings to get a job, which is your own role. You ensure that you get them. I mean, you can get them a role, and it's not even a compulsory thing, to be honest, but I think that's the least you can do.
Yeah, so from his mail, he said there are 3 grown people. So really, I really don't think it's your job to provide for your siblings, especially if they are grown-ups. Even if they are, because really, provision, this thing is sometimes, this grace that we extend is as a function of capacity too. You know, because if you don't have capacity and you want to wear the guy down and you're not talking to him, you are keeping malice to him. The first role is you, the parents, as provider. If God has blessed him enough to extend that, so be it. But if not, if he's saying that it's not his role, then let him be. Let everybody be self-sufficient. Pray for each other. In fact, there are some siblings that the only time they talk is when there is a function. You know, so I mean, I really don't know why you'd be expecting somebody to be responsible for other people that are grown up, that can actually get a job, that can go out. Even if he doesn't get them a job, it's not, if he can, he should, but if he doesn't, you can't actually put the guy. So I don't think your response to them, it's just that sometimes the way we respond to certain situations is what makes people turn into something else. Probably a bit of explanation to your parents.
But sometimes there's the emotional blackmail that comes in. You know,
and maybe he's been allowing it now.
Well,
for it stopped. That's what happened. So maybe the guy has been doing it, and then suddenly he realized that I can't. It's not helping, because it might not even be helping those people.
You're not,
because they're getting free money. Everybody's providing, so everybody
actually you would get hostile.
And then for him, the way his responsibility, once he start expanding, and he has the wife, the kids, rents, and other things, businesses to actually take care of. He's going to wear one individual in a family.
Two poor people can't help themselves.
No. So that's it, Jake. We think we've been able to address your situation to a certain extent. The second mail is from Peter. Peter is from Canada. Peter says, "Telling my fiancée I want a prenup. How do I tell my fiancée to sign up a prenup before we get married? I'm marrying a 2-time divorcee who I love very much. However, I've been advised by my friend, who's also my lawyer, to sign a prenup. I saw reasons with this suggestion and I want to go for it. Bringing it up may upset her, but I also have to think of my future."
I think you're going into the marriage for convenience sake, and your friend already knows that this person is a 2-time divorcee. There's a statistics that actually showed that 2-time or 1-time divorcee has a higher rate of divorcing again, and all of that. So that's why. So your friend is actually trying to help you, not necessarily discouraging you from marrying the person, but knows that if we don't tell you to do this, it becomes a major problem. So you might also, and for you to consider, it also means that you're not totally convinced about what you want to do, because love in itself is absolute. Love, in Book of Corinthians was talking about, I think 13, and was saying that love does not take any record of wrong. Love is in its raw form is absolute. There is no prenup, so to speak. But the moment you start to consider prenup, it means that you are not certain about what you want to do. So if you ask, well, you didn't ask us that, but what you asked is, what do we think about the prenup? I think you need to think
Because the
through.
lady is upset.
You need to,
Might be upset.
yeah, it's because she's going to be upset. You need to consider, because once there is a back door for anything, it's almost like somebody saying, I'm having money stashed up for something just in case something happens. Truth about the matter is that
Something will
what
happen.
you are asking for would eventually happen. So this prenup, that day will come, and you'll think you're right. Right. So I hope that helps you.
Yeah, so just like you said, just to buttress your point, I mean, so you are even not in the marriage yet. You might not even end up getting married to each other, for crying out loud. So you guys are still, it's still a roadmap to marriage. You are already confused on certain decision. I mean, your lawyer friend is already advising you on some it's messed up. So the foundation of is even looking like, sometimes we take issues of marriage like business proposal, company, and it doesn't work like that, because that thing gives you a mindset. It's just like risk
Risk assessment.
So you want to do a business, you want to do cash flow projection, you want to do risk assessment, you want to do valuation and all sorts. You doing it in marriage sometimes might not give you the best of it, because you already have a plan. You're already thinking of getting your exit from. So maybe you don't even want to go into marriage with a two-time divorce.
But I didn't say that.
Eh?
But I didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's. I mean, you need to.
Maybe you might, if it's really a concern for you, because the foundation is already shaky, and when the foundation is, what can the righteous
can't do anything.
The righteous can't do nothing. So really, I think you want to reconsider certain things and have these conversations with her, instead of upsetting and then making a mess of the beautiful relationship that you guys have built. Just have a talk with her instead of asking for advice from us. I think you should go back to her, sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk.
So what are the areas, there are things you've seen
Yeah.
that is making you feel like, you don't want to go?
Don't hurt her the more. She's been hurt for like 2 relationships. You want to be the third person. I don't think it's a nice thing to do. So that will be it, Peter. Our last question for today's episode is from Trisha. Trisha is from Angola. She said, my baby daddy is back from after 8 long years. Welcome back. Hello. My baby daddy is back after abandoning his son for 8 years. Just 5 calls in 8 years. Now he wants a relationship with my son, who is now 14. I've prevented him from doing so because I'm worried he might abandon him again and hurt him all over. Am I wrong for trying to protect my son from a man who abandoned him twice? First was when I was 5 months pregnant. Second was when my son was 6 years. Trisha from Angola.
Okay, so there are several reasons why a guy will take decisions like that, and chief of it is immaturity. There are certain things that and if you trace it way back down, it might be that the man himself also suffered abandonment issue. So because usually what happens is that when you see a guy who is in between, they like their responsibility, they don't like their responsibility when it's not convenient, and then they take off. There's a potential that he's actually going to take off again, right? But you also can't protect your son from that particular situation. It's a decision that you both have to look at critically and ask the critical question, why do you keep going? If he can answer you, because that's a conversation that he also needs help with. The man needs help. We have situations where children are raising children these days, right? So the man might be grown physically, but doesn't have the capacity of being a father, which is making him run away at every slightest problem or whatever it is that makes him run away. All right, as much as you can deal that, but you can also deal the aspect that, he comes into full maturity. One of the prayers we pray, all right, for people in general is what Paul prayed for people in Galatians 4:19, that Christ be formed on the inside of them.
Right.
And if Christ is not formed on the inside of a man, he doesn't know the responsibility. He doesn't know that he has a responsibility to protect the son and yourself. Right. All right. So yes, you can protect the person, but to be honest, they will keep resisting you until you're worn out, and then you give in, and then that process of that cycle keeps going on and on and on and on till they are 70, right? So it's important that you actually pray for the person or ask the guy to actually seek help. You know, him talking about what's making him run away at every problem.
Yeah. So let's thank God that the boy is already 14. You know, so I mean, God has helped you to be able to, raise him to his 14. Now, there are certain lessons that we also learn in life as we go, as we move ahead, so that the same mistake will not be happening.
Repeated.
So now the guy has actually showed you back to back, given that number of years, the kind of character that can pop up at any time. That is good for you because you're prepared. You know, he's made you a stronger person. It means that you shouldn't lose guard. That he's back into you people's life doesn't mean it's not like you won't have it at back of your mind that he's back to stay. However, anything can happen because based on the pattern, you know, while you pray for him, you also need to be firm in the sense that don't just leave everything to, oh, daddy's back now. Because genuinely, if you look at it, the number of years that he's been with you guys are actually less. You can't really count so much of years.
Right.
So he actually doesn't have a lot of MO as far as the family is concerned. If you are gracious enough to always allow him to your home and he lives with you people, probably he can catch up, you know, but maybe coming back to you people's life is checking up on you guys, not coming to, you know, there are two different things. If he's coming to the home, it might alter a lot of things, you know, maybe how you guys do stuff, your routine, how you catch up, your bonding and all. But if it's just for him to check on you and check, I think you should just keep him a bit at arm's length till you're sure of, because he's also going through a process. He's also going through a situation. He needs help as well.
Right.
But those gap is pretty much too much, you know, for somebody to be absent. And once it becomes like that, don't allow him control the narrative of you people's life, because even you need to move ahead. Does it mean that in between that time
you were waiting?
That's my
You were
question.
waiting also.
So if there's no guy in the picture that is still the same guy that is coming back to what it means, that he won't really change as such, because he knows that I can be going and coming. So he's just holding you guys constant and he's playing around. Just for you to know that you have to stay put. And I pray as you do that, God will help you in Jesus' name. So I think that'll be all on this episode of Mailbox. Till next time, my name is Adisha.
And I'm Wale. Peace.